Welcome to Business Line's State of the Economy podcast, where you'll find insight, analysis, and the story behind the numbers.
Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Business Line's State of the Economy podcast. I'm your host S. Ronendra Singh, and today we are going to talk about battery as a service or BaaS in the electric vehicles market. JSW MG Motor India is the first manufacturer in the Indian automobile industry that has launched battery as a service with its latest product, the MG Windsor, an intelligent crossover utility vehicle or CUV. The Windsor has the comfort of a sedan and the expense of an SUV, according to the company, and built on a pure platform offering luxurious business class experience. Apart from several high-tech and safety features, it has a unique ownership program wherein MG Windsor is offered at Rs 9.99 lakh plus Rs 3.5 per kilometer for the battery per month under the battery as a service ownership program. This flexible ownership program eliminates the upfront cost of the battery, enabling customers to pay only for its usage. In addition, the company is also offering a first-of-its-kind lifetime battery warranty to the first owner of MG Windsor. So in this episode, we have a lot to talk about this new offer and the unique concept. And who can explain better than Gaurav Gupta, who is the Chief Growth Officer at JSW MG Motor India. So let's begin. So welcome to the State of the Economy podcast, Gaurav. First of all, I would like to know about the Windsor that you have recently launched. And can you explain us what is battery as a service or BaaS, as you called?
No, thank you so much for joining. And the whole concept of battery as a service that we have announced and launched with MG Windsor actually is to really help our mind shift change towards adoption of EVs in the marketplace. You know, we've seen that people have had reservations and concerns about acquisition price. EV cars are expensive, battery is very expensive, and it kind of sometimes holds back the people. But the way we have broken this up is in a very simple language. We have said that battery typically is like the energy in the car.
Right.
Just like you have fuel, which is diesel and petrol in an ICE car.
Right.
So the way you are paying on a monthly basis for your petrol and diesel consumption as per your usage, you should be paying the similar way for battery also.
Right.
Because a battery is like energy.
Correct.
So our attempt has been that if we are able to split the cost of the car in two parts, the car and the battery, and therefore for the battery you are paying as per your usage, you are immediately bringing down the price of the vehicle from an acquisition perspective.
Right.
And hence it becomes very attractive for people to move to the EV business. Mm-hmm. And I can give you the numbers and explanation as to how we have structured this also.
Right. How does it really work in the sense, like you said, you will be charging three and a half rupees per kilometer under this offer. So can you explain how does it work?
Sure.
And how does the customer have to sign up something to this with MG and for how long?
So what we have done is we have partnered with 4 different financiers who are basically new age and as well as established NBFCs in India. And with their help, we've been able to bring this disruptive model for EV adoption. Mm-hmm. I must begin by saying that as I explain these numbers to you, it'll be very simple and clear to everyone that this is the right way to encourage EV adoption in India. Mm-hmm. While we have started with 4 financiers and have got multiple options for consumers, but as more and more financiers and even other players come on board, this will really encourage people to move towards EV vehicles in their systems. How does it work? Let us say that you want to buy a car as a mid-size vehicle. If you want to buy, let's say, a 10 lakh rupee vehicle that we have said. So at 9.99 plus 3.5 rupees per kilometer rental is the package. But let us look at purely if you were to buy a car of 10 lakh rupees. If you were to buy an ICE vehicle today at 10 lakh rupees, you will be getting a vehicle which is, let's say, a small size or a compact size SUV, for example, which will be a manual transmission, and the range, let us say you're driving a 50 kilometers per day approach. Mm-hmm. So purely on both, on Windsor as well as the other car, you're driving 50 kilometers per day, 1,500 per month. With a fuel efficiency of 12 kilometers per liter approximately, ballpark, your cost of the fuel itself in the ICE vehicle will come to about 120 liters. Maybe you can say 100 rupees a liter cost, about 12,000 rupees.
Right.
Similar range, similar kind of mileage that you have to do in the EV with our battery as a service package, you are paying rupees 3.5 per kilometer and maybe 1 rupee for charging. So 4.5 rupees
Right.
into 1,500 kilometers, roughly short of 7,000 rupees is what your cost will be.
Right.
So for the same 10 lakh rupees EV and 10 lakh rupee ICE, and in this case EV is Windsor, you are paying half on a monthly basis of the cost you'll incur to just move around.
Right.
Plus, in addition to that, keep in mind that the 10 lakh rupees, you're getting the Windsor, which is an automatic electric vehicle. The pricing is of a small segment, compact segment SUV. The size is of a B segment SUV, which is like a mid-sized car of 13 or 14, 50 lakhs.
Right.
And the space inside, because of the skateboard platform, is of the size of a C segment SUV. So that gives you the flexibility. Now with the packaging, like I mentioned, so you are saving money every month
Right.
on ICE versus EV. But you might say, hey, but battery I'm renting. So what happens then? So here we've got very clear that as long as you want to use by paying 3 rupees 0.5 paise, 3.5 rupees per kilometer, you can keep using it.
Right.
And when the overall value of the battery has been obtained by the financier based on the kilometers driven and the tenure of the program, the full vehicle is yours.
Okay.
At the same time, you also have the flexibility that, listen, I will not be driving the car for 2 months in a year or 3 months in a year. So I don't want to have a minimum kilometer charge.
Okay.
So that also is available to you. So we have said that for EV, do you have choices? If you can find that, I don't normally drive 1,500 kilometers per month based on a 50 kilometer average, that package is available to you.
Okay.
You may say that I don't want to have any minimum charge. I will only pay when I drive the car. That package also available to you.
Okay.
You can say, listen, I want to drive, but I'm beyond minimum also. If I drive, I want to be more flexible. That also is available for us. So we have customized different packages based on customers' needs, and with the help of the 4 financiers, all are available to you.
Okay. So beyond that 3.5 rupees or that you have given like 1500 kilometers per month, if somebody like is going intercity and he exhausts that 1500 kilometers, how much does he have to pay after
So
that?
based on the different financiers program, there are different packages.
Okay.
In some cases, there is no upper limit. In some cases, if there is an upper limit beyond a particular value, there will be a freedom of some extra kilometers.
Okay.
Some of the packages is that even though you may drive extra in 1 month, but we can adjust it over the 1 year period, which is also fine. So there are various options available to you because of battery as a service. The key point here on is to understand is that we are making battery available to you for your energy requirement when you want to drive.
Okay. Yeah.
That is the biggest challenge.
Correct.
And therefore you are not stuck with the full price of the battery when you buy the car. These batteries are typically 2,500 ampere cycles. The life of the battery actually goes beyond the life of the car.
Right.
So you might say, listen, I'll drive only 1 lakh kilometers over 5 years. But typically if the battery can go up to 6, 7 lakh, 8 lakh kilometers, you might say that, listen, why do I need to pay so much for the car upfront when I'm only going to drive limited time frame?
Right.
So that is how battery as a service comes into picture, that you are paying for only what you are using.
Right.
You are not saddled with the entire cost.
Right. As a layman, in case of accidental cases, or like if like a customer wants to sell off the car like after 5 years or 8 years of his driving, what happens then? Can you just explain this to our listeners?
Suppose I want to sell the car in 3 to 5 years time frame before my tenure is over, before rental of the battery.
Right.
Then, like a typical finance program also, there's a full table of schedule that will be shared with the person who's renting the battery. So I'll give you an example again. So suppose you have said that I'll pay the full 10 lakh rupees and I only want to rent the battery. Now after 2 years, you say that, listen, I want to cut short my tenure and I want to sell this car.
Okay.
So basis the market value that you will find in the open market, the value of the car can be sold at that price.
Okay.
And the outstanding on the battery will be adjusted.
Okay.
Likewise, if you are coupling this with the 3-60 buyback program that we have got, Then after 3 years, maybe you say, I want to give the car back, and we have assured that basis the program that you have to buy separately with a small nominal charge of AMC, etc. We can say that, okay, 60% of the full car value will be due to you, and we adjust the pricing of the battery, that is remainder, and you get the full value back also.
Okay.
So the exit options are very flexible, and also are not going to be very binding, like in the case of a lease, traditional lease, and etc.
Yeah.
These are programs which are very friendly to encourage people to move towards EV.
Right. So going forward, you have already set an example of, in the whole industry by giving this battery as a service option. So going forward, would you also offer to your existing electric vehicles like Comet or the ZSEV?
And the response has been very, very reassuring and overwhelming on MG Windsor with battery as a service. And along with our financials, we are working on the other two car lines also.
Okay.
Because we believe that this will also be helpful to bring on these other two car lines, and also give consumers the flexibility and choice of their usage pattern, and helping them to come to EV also.
Right. So, what kind of customers are you looking at for this Windsor EV? Would there be any first-time buyers who are maybe like upgrading from the two-wheelers?
I think the entire package of BaaS, battery as a service, Ronnie, is very encouraging, and it definitely allows attractiveness to the consumers who are moving up not only from two-wheelers, but also at the same time anyone who's looking at buying a 9 to 10 lakh rupee car also. Because this suddenly gives you accessibility, and makes you actually enjoy a car which is of the size of a 14-15 lakh rupee car.
Right.
So this entire program is a game changer.
And also the size matters, and also the range of the kilometers.
Size, range, the space inside, the pricing, and more than the pricing, the structuring of BaaS makes it more affordable.
Okay.
Because you're not saddled with the entire cost of the car.
Right.
You're only paying part of the car as your EMI, and the balance you are paying as per your usage.
Right. So do you think that this is also an advantage, given that the government has stopped providing some schemes or some subsidies to the, passenger vehicle segment? For example, in FAME 2, it had certain amount of subsidies especially for fleet owners.
So FAME 2 always had the benefits for fleet owners only, for passenger, for four-wheeler cars, passenger cars, never for personal usage. While the government has been very encouraging by helping a lot on the taxation aspect, some state governments have been very encouraging on the local charges for registration. But I think the approach of BaaS is actually encompassing all terms of encouraging people to move towards EV. This is about bringing the cost of acquisition lower.
So going forward, how do you see the industry in the electric vehicles? Last year was one of the record years, and this year too, because of these new launches, including yours, and also some upcoming launches in the next few months. How do you see the overall EV industry in India in the next 1 or 2 years?
See, it's a very important question, and good, thanks for asking, because in the recent times we are seeing some slowdown, or the numbers may be a bit not telling the whole picture. But let me allow me to indulge in giving you how we see the EV segment going forward. Firstly, the passenger car market overall at about 4.3 million. We are expecting the festive season to really bring some momentum in the marketplace. With the elections behind us, with all the clear policies being tabled, the budget has been outlined. We are seeing good momentum in the upcountry market, especially in the two-wheeler segment, has started to see growth. We are seeing the stock market able to rally itself. So inherent strengths of India remain. While in the short term there might be some curve factors on the industry, but the market is poised to grow. We do expect single digits, mid-single digits growth this year as we speak for the industry. Now coming to EV, very interesting you have mentioned, EV has been growing at almost 100% in the last 2 years, and we expect the growth to be, firstly the momentum is difficult to maintain, but it will continue to be growing. Right now it was at 1, now it's at 2%, it will keep growing in the marketplace. Now what are the factors which need to be addressed to help more adoption of EVs? One, the current products mostly in the market that we are seeing are mostly ICE into EV. So they are typically Gen 1 batteries, Gen 2. So there the efficiency of the battery in the past, the choice of the cars, not having the true skateboard platform, the whole experience has to grow more. Now with the coming of Windsor as well as the other players who are bringing in the cars in the future, we are expecting more choice for the customer.
Right.
That is going to encourage. Second is that with now the new generation of batteries coming in, more efficiencies of the entire battery management system coming in, consumers will be able to get even more confidence on the battery with new warranty programs, and this will also help in the residual value of the cars also.
Right.
The second part, in addition to the first part I mentioned, is charging infrastructure. Now, actually, we have a pretty widespread charging structure in India, and concern would be that where are the charges, and therefore you hold back. But recently, we took an initiative at MG through a program called eHub, wherein we brought together, and as of now, almost 80% of the public chargers of India, this is DC and AC fast chargers, are on that platform. And as a customer, you are able to identify the chargers around you, or even when you're planning a trip, whether it is, let's say, Chennai, Bangalore, Bombay, Goa, or Calcutta, Darjeeling, or Delhi, Jalandhar, Delhi, Jaipur, etc. One can plan any trip.
Right.
And you can be assured of knowing the charges on the way. You can book it, you can pay for it. So that relevancy is coming up. So this will encourage people to book for EVs. The third part, which is actually going to be clinching, and that's what BaaS is all about, is to help address the issue of acquisition price.
Right.
So while lithium, etc., is bringing the price of battery down, still the delta remained. And hence, when battery as a service has been introduced by MG, and we are almost equating the ICE equals to EV as a car and bringing down your running cost, acquisition cost, these factors only will encourage EV adoption.
Right.
So more choice for the customer, charging infrastructure being addressed, better batteries and better battery management systems, RV guarantees, and now with battery as a service, this momentum has to pick up.
Right.
I must say that if the way you have mutual funds as a program and everyone comes in together, and mutual funds sahi has been a wave. If more financiers, more players come in, and BaaS is getting more and more support from everybody together, this can be a very big way for increased adoption of EVs, which is very important for the country also, not only from a pollution management perspective, but also our oil pool deficit will get addressed. And more importantly, these are new age cars, new experience cars, which are good for consumer also.
Correct. But having said that, there are also concerns like there was a divide between urban and rural demands in terms of other segments. So for EVs, is it same? Is gonna be same, or like how do you see the acceptance in the tier 2, tier 3 towns?
Traditionally, we always look at this as tier 2, tier 3 towns and market, but here only a lot of the factors come into picture by the various state government and their policies and rules about the RTO charges. Frankly, in non-metro cities, the EV adoption should actually be increasing because their daily usage is 50 kilometers, which is on an EV. And when they travel to the nearby big city, 100 kilometers up and down or 200 kilometers up and down, it's very well addressed by an EV. So actually, EV market should be increasing much faster in the non-metro cities based on what I just mentioned. But largely, this is a function of state government policies, power supply, and overall, the current base that we already have for EVs. So it does not have to follow the linear curve otherwise.
So what kind of expansion plans do you have going forward to make
See, as of now, we have got a pretty good coverage. We have about 250 centers already in India, by which we have covered 85% of the industry. By the end of this year, we should be looking at 300 centers. And increasing the penetration in the country overall. Right.
So a little bit going away from this, you recently launched the MG Select for luxury cars. Can you just give us some brief about that, and going forward, what kind of vehicles would you launch in that?
Sure, very interesting actually. When you look at and MG has always been, as a team and as a company, we've always looked at being disruptive and bringing innovation in our offerings and products and an experience for the customer. When we studied the market, we saw that the luxury car market in India is just about 1% of the industry. Only 1%. So out of the 4.3 million, just 1%, 45,000 odd is the luxury car market. And when you see the rising affluency in India, the proportionate level of income rising in India, the choice of consumers that are making in acquiring both acquisitions and experience, there is an emerging opportunity for really having a play in the luxury car market. By launching MG Select, this is our attempt to really bring and make luxury more accessible for people in India.
Right.
We are seeing that the current luxury products, leave aside the entry side, but the mid-level and all are expensive in India.
Right.
By bringing in MG Select, we want to bring in products which are going to have great technology, very, very good, got to have kind of products in design and appeal, and blend that with curated experience, exclusivity,
Right.
but overall make luxury more accessible for India.
Right.
So MG Select will be crafted for the select few. It will aim at making luxury more accessible.
Right.
It will be based on the platform of sustainability. We will have products which will be based on NEVs, new energy vehicles,
Okay.
plug-in hybrids, electric and hybrids.
Okay.
It will have various body styles, SUVs, sedans, etc. The first year we want to target 12 cities to begin with, 12 experience centers.
Okay.
These will be standalone centers by itself. And then obviously we'll expand more as we go along.
Right. So when is the first product coming in?
Our target is to bring in the product in the next 6 months.
Okay.
So by March 2025, we want to be hitting the ground running with both our facilities of MG Select as well as the product launches of MG Select. We are targeting 4 cars in 2 years.
Okay.
With 2 within the first half of next calendar year.
Okay. When you talked about accessible or affordable, does it mean affordability?
See, today luxury today is not only defined by price point, but also in terms of what is the kind of experience you're providing. Exclusivity is also there,
Right.
and how much of it is curated and personalized.
Right.
So our approach of accessible luxury will not only play to the price point, but also the overall package itself.
Okay.
So the way we brought in BaaS in Windsor, similarly the product, the entire ownership package, the experience, the curation of the individualized, discerning, exclusive experience will be there. This will help us to redefine luxury in India. We really want to create a new benchmark of luxury market.
Okay.
Just the way with MG Hector, we had done it in the mainstream segment,
Right.
because MG is a mass premium brand.
Right.
So this will be building on in a similar way to create disruption in the luxury segment. Keep in mind that we have purposely picked up MG Select as the entire luxury channel brand of MG India, because MG already enjoys a very great consumer pull. It has great experience. It has got awards for customer satisfaction.
Right.
The brand stands for new technology, connected, autonomous, electric cars, AI cars. All of them come in from MG. New disruptive solutions like BaaS are there from MG. So by having MG Select as our way forward for luxury channel, it takes the advantage of existing base and also helps consumers get an additional option to have a wider choice of new age cars coming in. So
Right.
for the new age Indian customer looking for, personalized, curated, exclusive luxury experience, this will be the answer, MG Select.
Right. All right, Gaurav. That's all. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Ronendra. Thank you very much.